Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Oh, I think you're live, but we don't have a monitor right now.
Are we live?
Are we live? Okay, we're live.
It's December 18th.
I think it's actually Friday the 13th. I think
Yes,
we've
it
had
might
late
be
here.
Friday the 13th. We're a little taken
little off our
aback.
game this morning.
We're
building your show, guys.
Okay, we're a little off our game this morning
we're
because
filming?
we,
All right, yeah, it's
yeah, we're
entertaining.
going.
People want to see the behind the scenes.
all right.
There we go. It's very difficult for us if we don't have a monitor.
Yeah, because we
we're
don't know what we're
blind.
talking about.
We're talking blind.
So, Marty, any local events?
We do have some local events. So this is the last big shopping weekend before the holidays.
Yes.
And this Friday night is the Shop Local Not Just for Men's Night.
Okay.
So, and I have a feeling because Ladies' Night got kind of iced out
Well,
last week.
yeah,
It
that
was
was,
bad.
I don't want to say it was tragic, because I was
Yeah.
downtown and it was like nice,
did.
and then it just
Mm-hmm.
went from nice to naughty.
It went literally like from 0 to 60. Like it was
Yeah,
just
it
rain,
was
then all of a sudden
really
everything
boom.
was ice. So
But I have to admit, there were some good buys and I felt a little awkward.
oh, because you
but-
were at Ladies' Night.
Yes, it was a gender awkward night for me, because I was at the ladies' night events, and I guess I should be more comfortable at that, but it was obvious that I was the only male at holidays when everyone was having wine
were
and
you?
everything.
Oh, that's okay.
But it was great. They had good buys. I mean, it was
Yeah,
really,
there is all the stores were prepared for like a lot of people, and Rainey and I were out in front of the bookstore. We were selling rotary weeds, but there just was not the people out on the street. I think, which is unfortunate because these are the two big weekends for the merchants to
Yes, right.
make hay while the sun shines. So if you missed Ladies' Night last week, if you didn't, if the weather prohibited you from going out, you have, even though it's not just for men's night, I think it's not just for men's night, so
Yeah,
women can
it's
go.
ladies,
So
it's-
be sure to hit the downtown merchants this weekend. I think they will have equally as good bargains,
I think so too.
equally as much in the way of goodies and alcoholic beverages or non-alcoholic beverages and treats and things. So make sure you hit downtown merchants and get your Shop Local card
Yeah.
stamped.
Did you hear whether Holidays, or not Holidays, but J&H is going to do their sale again for men? Because their sale on the ladies' night was really good.
I would assume
Man.
that they would. I would assume that they would
Yeah.
have the same sale. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, all right. Well,
And then, drum roll please, tonight is White Christmas. It's back.
oh, great.
Yay!
Yeah.
We had a year without White Christmas. It was kind of like a year without a Santa Claus for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
it
was
was.
sad because it's a tradition. So at the Opera House tonight and tomorrow night, because they're doing classic movie night 2 nights a week now.
Yeah, so you can catch White Christmas, and it's certainly white.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep, we're just in the nick of time. We're going to go on our traditional Wednesday night.
Are you? Good.
Wow.
The family Wednesday night.
Yep, that's Sisters.
Yes.
Sisters Wednesday night. So our main topic
So when they do
today-
Sisters, do you guys sing along?
We do. We totally sing along.
For those not unfamiliar with the show, there is a song about sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah.
We do. We sing along, and we actually there's many times through the years where the first riffs of that song
Yeah.
come up when we're talking about stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah, I'll bet. That's
yeah,
funny.
that's the best part of the. I think that's the best part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That and the very 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 end.
Yeah,
When
but
I
the
won't
end's
spoil
really-
it, but
yeah.
the very end is
Yeah, that's the tearjerker
the
part, but the
tearjerker
sisters
part.
part was
Sisters
really
part,
funny.
yeah, and especially when Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye do it.
Yes, yes.
They actually have a play that they have. My sisters are going to it. My sister and my nieces. They actually have a play, White Christmas now.
Yeah, well, Sue and I were looking at. They have it. It's playing
The
in
Wayne
Boston.
Center, yeah.
Yeah, they're going.
They're going
Because we were looking
tomorrow.
at
They're
the
going
tickets.
Saturday.
Are like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
tickets were hard to get.
Were they?
I
Oh,
mean, yeah.
my niece found out about it a long time ago, and they
Oh,
got tickets
good
a
for
while
them.
ago.
Because we were
so-
looking, thinking, oh, we could go down and see White Christmas or another show, and it was like, you can't get tickets right now. It's just,
No, I'm curious as to how they do the play though,
yeah, that'll be fun.
and
That'll be fun to see.
who the characters, the Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye characters, like if they're really recreating that. I mean, they had such chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're totally off our original topic today,
Yeah,
by the way, but we're
that's
good.
cool.
We're going
Well,
with it.
This is our rambling show. This is the last show of the year.
It's the last show of the year, so we're going to do what we want. No, they have that, Danny Kaye had that whole, like, you know, he's got that whole, like, goofy thing
Yeah,
in Bing Crosby. So we're unfortunately I'm not going, because we're going to New York to see To Kill a Mockingbird on
Ooh,
Broadway.
That's supposed to be really
Yeah.
good too, though. That's
very
that's
excited.
incredibly good.
Yeah, so it was we already had tickets for that. when
Who's
this
playing
came
the
up.
lead on that? Because
Ed
he
Harris.
won some award for that.
Yep, Jeff Daniels left a while ago, and Harris is doing it now. And then I think I was on the website. I think Mandy Patinkin is taking over after Ed
Whoa,
Harris.
amazing.
So definitely, I don't think there's with any of those three actors, I don't think there's any bad show, I think.
Yeah.
But I know I have to, I'm pretty sure that, I know the storyline vaguely, and I know I've read the book. I'm sure it was
Mhm.
assigned back in middle school, but I'm gonna hit the Cliff
You
Notes
should.
version
Oh,
before I
because it's a
go.
great story.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
fantastic.
But very excited, taking the train,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
That's another good, I love taking the train. I know
Yeah.
the Millers talk about taking the train all the time, and
And
they
anything
hooked us on it.
anything the Millers do,
Well,
I try
they're
to do.
like the leading edge here.
Cutting edge
If
here
you-
in
If you
Belfast.
really want to
It's
know what to do, you should talk to Chris Miller.
It's true.
It is.
She
I'm
knows. She knows
sorry.
all the things. She knows all the things. So, you did a show, a little Mike Smith's Present show last week
Yeah.
with Jenna Kozlowski
Yes, I did.
from the Vermont Council on Rural Development
Mhm.
about this whole Let's Take Action Rockingham.
Right.
And so we were thinking about in trying to. You didn't go to the forums, but you
Yeah,
went with
we
Jenna.
had family coming, so
Mhm.
it really was awkward to.
But one of the predominant themes, because there was 9 sessions and I went to 3 of the 9
Mhm.
sessions. And one of the and they ran the sessions all the same. That you listed all the assets related to whatever topic you were talking about. You listed all the challenges related to the topic, and then you listed action plans for that topic. Like if you were in the education, it was action plans for education. But one of the themes within all of those forums was communication. Was
Right.
that people were finding communication, which I find interesting because we're on our phones all the time. But
Well,
communication,
yeah.
but communicate, like learning about, like a lot of people only heard about the forums at the last minute.
Yeah, me included.
Yeah, so I think it's prudent that this is the last show of the year, because we won't have a chance to promote this. The next event's happening on January 8th, so this is our last chance to promote the event. So I think it's prudent that we really explain to people, because I don't think people understand. I think there's maybe a prevalent thought that these people coming from rural development and all of the facilitators and the resource people that they brought, that they're going to somehow do this.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
not
not,
the
that's not the
case.
case. Not at all.
It's local engagement.
hmm And that's maybe something we should point out is that
Mhm.
one of the things that when Jenna and I talked, it became really apparent that they've done this
Mhm.
for 20 years now.
Well, that's what I
And
didn't. I
it's-
didn't know that they had done it for Rockingham back in. I actually wrote it down. 1998.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
came. Yeah.
And it's not like they're sort of like advisors. They don't pick the
neutral
projects.
facilitators. I
Yeah,
think was the
neutral
term she
facilitators
used.
is
Yeah.
the term she uses.
Yeah.
And but it's like they're coming in to just get us to come up with ideas.
Mhm.
And there were a lot of ideas that people came up with. That's what she said. It's very rich. I mean,
Mhm.
the stuff that they've done, there are all sorts of ideas. And now that they have ideas, the next step is to sort of bring that down into some sort of working project. And that's what the next meeting is going to be. It's going to be on January 8th in the town lower meeting room at the
Mhm.
town hall. There's, it's going to be a big multi-voting basic ideas. Remember, we
Remind
did
me-
something similar with the Rotary.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, when she said, I actually watched your show, and when she said that you drill it down using a dot system,
Yeah.
I said that sounds exactly like Rotary Visioning.
Yeah, and for those not unfamiliar with it, you'll get to vote on all of the projects. So it's the people who show up at the meeting are going to be the ones who make the decisions to do this, to do whatever projects move ahead. And I would encourage everyone to come because,
Even if you weren't in on the first step of the process.
Yeah.
I think the first step of the process was, as you put it, there's just a big brainstorming step.
Yeah, it's
It was
like
just
every
gather
idea.
every idea, as crazy as they are, we're gonna write them down.
Yeah.
And then they're compiling all of that, they're like, data mining,
Mhm.
all of that information, drilling it down to, I think, again, even going to three different things, there's central themes that were coming
Yeah,
up. And
yeah.
even though one was this topic and one was that topic, there's central themes that were coming up. I think as they go through that data, they're gonna find central themes. And then they're gonna present those themes, and then it's up to the community to champion. I like that, the champion. So I'm gonna
Right.
guess there'll be some time for people to kind of talk about what they meant with, XYZ
Yeah.
idea. And then if they do it like they did Rotary, they'll have like whiteboards on the wall, and you'll all get stickers. And
Yeah,
you'll
and you
put
just-
stickers, you'll have, I think it's 3 stickers, and you hit your top three
Your three,
things.
yeah.
And then I think it drills down, maybe it starts out with 5 stickers and then drills down to 3 stickers, so that
Yeah.
they'll end up with, I think their goal is to end up with 3 to 5 priority
Right.
task projects.
Yeah. And also, who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
And because that's the key. I mean, it's really, and I don't mean to be critical of any group, but it's real easy to come up with ideas and be critical about what's not being done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another thing to put on your big girl pants and
get things done.
done. It's just not an easy thing to do, and there's, it's just, I don't know whether it's the way we live today, that there's so many other commitments, but sitting down and doing these things is difficult. And when this process will move the community to that action step, and that's the most important
And I
thing.
think, if I understand correctly, this community has done it. I mean, we've done it. I think back in 1998, when they came and did a visit and had plans, I think that's how a lot of the downtown area, I'm gonna guess that Robert McBride, I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna guess that was kind of the ramp
got started,
project and
yeah.
all of that type stuff. So we've done it before. This community's done it before. I know that one of the central themes that came about in, again, in the topics, one of the central themes was there's a lot of town pride. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people, and then there's also a lot of people already doing a lot of things, but they're doing them as
Little
little
silos.
silos. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not doing them
Yes.
as one central task force. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's what it comes down to, is they're going to,
They're gonna try to identify some
they're
of
gonna
those groups.
identify, get task force going with chair people, and then work on actual action steps, and like you would do any project, and then move it forward. So they're gonna facilitate that. They're gonna come in with a resource team. They will come in with resource teams that either can advise because they know about, or they can help
Mhm.
with funding. So they will peripherally help, but it really is it is up to the residents.
Exactly.
And I think that's the misnomer, that we have to do it ourselves.
Right.
And I think that, a lot
And
of
this,
people.
well, this process should help to get that started, though. That's the key. And I think having a central committee
Mhm.
that's gonna sort of steer this, and I don't know if steer is the right word,
Mhm.
but
No, I
at
think
least,
that's right.
yeah, prompt
I think that's
people
what
to
they're
get
calling
along.
them, is just like a steering committee, the big committee. And then there's one, like, chairperson of chairpersons, I
Yeah.
think. So there are people already in place, because that had to happen before they could even come,
Right.
right? Yeah. And town leadership is behind it. But I think one of the important facts is, because, you see it all the time, is people wanna complain, and but they don't wanna be, if you wanna complain and you wanna change things, then be an agent of change.
Yeah,
Don't just sit there and complain, otherwise you're just a complainer.
yeah,
This
You're
is
just
an
noise.
opportunity
You're just-
to,
an irritant.
yeah, this is an opportunity to make a difference. I think it's interesting, it'll be interesting to see what came from the kids'
Yeah,
topics.
yeah,
She hadn't
'cause-
met with the kids yet, or
no,
she met with the kids?
Jenna came what day was
Last
that?
Thursday.
She
Mhm.
came a week ago tomorrow, and we did a show, but then she was gonna meet with the Friends for Change kids afterwards. And she sent me an email yesterday saying it was a really good discussion. She didn't want me saying, what they said, so they're gonna talk about that
Nice.
in this 8th, on the 8th. And I think that's really important, it is that, there seems, and I don't know if this is unique to Bellows Falls, but there is a strong youth voice that's coming forward and having ideas and willing to commit to doing things, and that's a strength. Boy,
It is a strength because that's the future of the community.
Yeah.
I mean, really, those are the ones that are going to be on the select board. They're going to be the town leaders. They're going to be the business owners. They're going to be the, all of those type things 20 years from now. I mean,
Yeah.
20 years from now, the vast majority of the people that are probably going to be working on the task force are probably going to be retired and possibly
Exactly.
not still in the area.
Yeah.
So the youth voice is important.
In that attracting youth component and maintain or attracting and retaining youth in the community is really important because that, like you said, that's who's going to start businesses, that's who's going to be your teachers, that's who's going to when everyone retires and we needed someone to repair your car. That I mean, it's really it's an interesting thing because a lot of the people in the like if you look at the people who are in the trades now, they're aging out. I mean, wow, it's just so we need the youth. We need to have that.
We do. When we do, one of the I was reading an article. I think it was in the Commons in relation to this topic, and one of the things that came up is perception. Perception of how things are moving forward, and one of the things you hear a lot is there's no jobs, there's no industry, there's no jobs, and and I'm just summarizing the line from the Commons is we were always seen as a mill town. There was a lot of Vermont towns like Springfield was the machine tool town, and we were a mill town, and so there's the perception that there's not we're never going to be that again.
No,
we're never going to have
yeah.
big mills or big industry. It's more cottage industry or small, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of small cottage industry, and that's probably what's going to come out is that there's going to be a lot more opportunities. Like there's the little mini makerspace down
On the island.
not on the island, but down near the Chemco building. I can't think. Is it Granger Street?
Oh, I didn't realize
There's
there's
like a
one down
little,
there.
there's a gentleman, I know, I learned it too. I learned
Yeah.
a lot. I even though I'm kind of in the know with, or try to be in the know and know a lot of
Yes.
people, there's a lot of people at these forums, which was cool that I didn't know things that were going on. Again, the communication
Right, that silo
gap, because I'm
thing.
in my little silo, and
Yeah.
there's a gentleman down, and I apologize for not remembering his name, but there's a gentleman that's renovated the building that used to be, I think it was Vermont Printing or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And he's got like a little makerspace down there, like a little micro. He actually manufactures high-end mountain bike frames,
Oh, really?
and he's
interesting.
done some work with youth that want to learn
Mhm,
that kind of
mhm.
craft.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he takes on, I believe, some interns, and there's some
Somehow
other
I've
things
heard
going on in
rumors
there.
of that,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize where it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of things already happening. I think this process will connect those things together and just make us that much stronger and really moving forward. We've done it in the past.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
believe that we can do it moving forward.
And those are the things to look at, sort of those industries that we wouldn't consider
Industries.
industries.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I was over the Thanksgiving holiday. I had people visit from Texas, and one of our friends from Texas is actually a Bosch representative, and they make electric motors for electric bikes. And her job is to go around Texas and the southern part of the country and talk about electric bikes. And it's amazing what they're doing with there was another thing that was like, wow, really? And it's, if you thought about electric bikes, an electric bike would be perfect for like Bellows Falls. You could get all over town.
Wasn't there somebody in town selling them at one point?
There was a guy that
Because
next to the bookstore.
Yeah,
they
because
had.
one displayed in there when it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
before it became the.
But I think it's
Texas
really
River Craft
like
Place.
she said in Germany, they're just like as common as motorcycles, basically, and it's just everybody's moving to electric bikes, and they're moving, and it's like you can either use them as an electric bike where you just go along, or you can use it as an assistant. She said even racers now are using these electric bikes. It's amazing.
So
But that could be something else when you think about a non-traditional sort of industry that might pop up. It might be something like that. You never know.
Well, I think a lot of people, that was one thing that came up in the discussion, is a lot of people are attracted, a lot of people from outside, not locals, a lot of people are attracted to this area and to the town of Bellows Falls because of its walkability.
Yeah.
Because you literally can live in town and get the vast majority of your needs met. I mean, we're kind of unique in that we have a really good grocery store in town, a
Yes.
locally owned grocery store in town,
town,
and most
yes.
towns, most townships, they don't have them within, I guess I'm talking in town within walking distance.
Yeah.
Like if you live in town or even
No.
sort of, you can walk to the grocery store. Most towns don't have that.
You have to go out.
You have to
a
go to
box.
the outskirts,
You have to go to a
which is
strip
really
mall
not
somewhere,
walkable. Yeah, so that's a huge asset
Yeah,
that we have here. And the other thing that came up that I'm gonna guess is probably gonna be one of the action plans that might come to fruition is really hooking the trail systems together.
Mhm.
The bike trail system and walking trail systems, that came up in the attracting and retaining young people
Right.
to have that outdoor
That
recreation
outdoor rec-
availability.
Yeah.
Because we have all these little trail systems, like you have all
Mhm.
the trails at the high school, then you have the Bald Hill trails and the trails up by the Ski Tow that connect. But I think they're looking to maybe connect to figure out how they can, or even just better market them
Yeah.
to
yeah.
that people know they're available.
Yeah. That and broadband. I think broadband is.
That was another.
And it's another one of those I don't know if underutilized, but unknown resources that we have. Like this building actually has 2 companies that provide fiber optic cable to this building. And how many people know that? I mean, it's like, we have bandwidth out the wazoo, and it's like, no one knows that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well,
And to tap into it.
yeah.
And I think, that we also, a thing that came up, and this part of why we're doing the show today is the central communication.
Oh, yeah.
Some area of central communication, and that's where I think FACT is an asset to this town, and, because you can find a lot of information about local events, about things that are happening right here in FACT.
Yes, you
And FACT
can.
promotes things and events.
And it's an important point because it's, Marty and I, full disclosure, Marty and I are both on the board of FACT
Full
TV.
disclosure, so we do try to promote it, and full
And,
disclosure, we have a show on FACT TV.
Yes, we do. And you might see us on FACT TV at some time. But one of the things we've been talking about as a board on FACT TV is that we have a nexus of communication here that we need to better utilize. And one of the things we were talking about last meeting was the idea of these local events, that local events happen, and again, everyone's in their silo and we were talking about looking at using Facebook as a sort of a way of gathering information and then putting it out on FACT. Or putting it out on YouTube, or we're talking about a show called Talk of the Town, which would really hit up all the local events that are going to happen. But researching that, I was like, because everybody's like, yeah, it's on Facebook, it's easy. It's not that easy. I was like,
Oh, were you going
my
to the
local
events?
events are completely different
Your
than
local events.
Cheryl's local events, and we're completely different than other. And it was like, wow, that's interesting. And it has to do with how Facebook feeds you news.
The
and,
algorithms.
the algorithms on Facebook. So
Yeah.
you sort of have to look at
A
that.
more central landing spot.
Or have or have a couple people with different profiles and come together and say, well, here I have these local events and I have these local events, and together maybe we could come up with a whole group of local events.
Which actually reminds me, one of the things I had
Oh, you have a local
to
event?
talk about. I do have a local, no, it's that, for this January 8th event in the town hall, there is a Facebook page event.
Oh, okay.
I didn't, if you went to the original forums, you're on an email list and they send you emails. And the second email I got yesterday afternoon said that they had created an event page. I didn't go to the event page, I didn't see it until after the fact, but there is an event page. And that would be, for everyone that's on Facebook, that's the easiest way to get the word out. And
Yeah.
so if you, and again, it's it's like what we do when we try to do Rotary events, we try to do whatever.
Yeah.
So if you say that you're going to the Facebook event and you want to let people know, or you want to make sure your friends are there, then invite them.
Yes.
Go into the little section where you can invite your friends, click off your friends, invite them, it'll go to them. And even if they're, even if they don't do anything about it, it's gonna come up
On
in their
feed.
feed
And
that you
then-
have an event coming up today to
Yeah.
remind them. So liking it's great, sharing it's awesome, but if you invite friends, then it stays in their feed and they're more apt to remember.
Yeah, it
to
will
have
prompt
that
them even
event.
on the day, like a couple days ahead of time. It says,
Yeah.
oh, you have an event coming
Yep.
up. Yeah.
Definitely.
So do that. And we're coming up on,
Coming up on
I see a
2
person looking, he's like, oh,
3
there's
minutes.
3 minutes.
How many fingers am I holding up? 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes to talk.
Yes. So like we
So-
said, this could be our last show of the
Of the,
decade.
that's true.
Yes,
I know, that's so
so I know
weird. It
people
is
have
our
been
last
watching us probably for the whole, as long as we've been on this decade.
Which is probably about 2 years. So this is the last show of the decade.
Yeah, but this is, yeah, it's the last show of the
next week
year
is
by the looks of
Christmas
it.
and
The
next week-
station's gonna be closed, from this Friday until New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't see us next week or the week after, probably. We're talking about maybe putting together a highlight show, but we're not sure whether that's gonna
Oh,
happen
that'd be
or
the
not.
best-
Yeah,
the
like
best
put
for
some
the
clips and maybe throw that in the middle of, just come in and post that up next week
Oh,
maybe,
nice.
or something like that.
Nice.
But anyway, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Merry Christmas.
Happy new
Enjoy the
decade.
holidays.
I know, 2020.
2020. Hard to believe.
I'm
And a big shout out to Chris Bergman. It's his birthday
oh,
today.
is it?
Yes.
Is it?
I'm
Happy
trying
birthday.
to, yes, I sang to him in the gym this morning, so.
Is that why the gym cleared out?
Yeah, that was it. You,
There's
you
I
were
was
wondering
teaching-
why no
I
one
was
was
teaching
in the
class and I
gym.
heard this noise. It was people running out of the gym.
That's
Just
what
kidding.
did it.
Just kidding. Just
No, it
kidding.
could have been. Anyway,
So to reiterate, if you want to be involved in the community process, then you need to go to the town hall. It's the Lower Theater.
January
on January
8th.
8th from 6:30 to 9. That's when you actually get, your voice gets to be heard. You get to vote. You get to figure out, you can be on a task force. And again, if you want to see change, you got to be the agent. They're not
you
going to
do.
do it for us. Someone's not going to
Yep.
come in and take care of the town of Rockingham and Village of Bells Falls.
As much as we would like
It's
that,
just
it's
we like
not
someone to
gonna
come in and do
happen.
it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And I
All
think we
right.
have a huge amount of motivated people, so we need some more.
All right, so thank you. See you next year. Have fun. Bye.
Bye, community.